everyone. Um, I'm kind of late on making my video today. Saturday, my like supposed date for posting videos was Friday, but I'm here nonetheless, and I'm making a video. And today I kind of just wanted to talk about just a few things, you know. I've not prepared anything, but there's this certain topic that I want to, discuss, I guess. And I have a Rice Krispie here, so I'm just going to be eating a Rice Krispie while I'm doing this. That's what I feel like doing. I'm using YouTube as a way to kind of channel whatever is going on inside me. It's just a way to, bring forth what's going on, and just instead of, keeping it bottled up inside me. And it's a great way to do that because I'm just talking, and you guys seem to be listening for whatever reason. So here I am. I want to talk about. I can't talk. Wow. I want to talk about my life in this past year. I went to Iraq in the middle of the school year. We're on summer break right now. It's been a few days. Yeah. And again, I have no control over the whole thing where my laptop just kind of turns black for some reason. But I'm sorry if you find the spacebar clicking thing annoying, but I can't really do anything about it. And even if there was a way to do something about it, I don't know how to. Anyways, I went to Iraq this past year for a month or so, and I missed a shit ton of school. And coming back from the trip was really difficult. It was really hard for me, personally. And it's not just because of, the schoolwork that I missed, or the days that I missed, that, did, play into effect, on my mental health and the state of mind that I was in. But it wasn't everything. It was just kind of me. I have this thing where my mind tend to focuses on every little thing that's bothering me, especially physical stuff. And my this channel is so depressing, but in my first video that I posted on here, I talked about my nose and the fact that it's just a little slightly crooked. And then after I was okay with that, was okay with the fact that my nose is imperfect, but my mind kind of just wants to find something to focus on to just make me feel like shit. I feel like it has these self-destructive tendencies, and it all just factors into my anxiety and self-doubt, and and it's terrible because I know some of these things that my mind just blows out of proportion, and I know these things aren't a huge deal, but my mind just kind of warps reality for me, and it makes me feel like shit. My teeth, they look pretty perfect on camera, except for this like one tooth. But I chipped my 2 front teeth when I was younger playing tag, and that kind of just started my whole journey with going to the dentist and getting them fixed and having them chip again and then getting them fixed again, and it's a long process, and it's very tiring journey. You know, it's really annoying, you know, having to go back and forth because of accidentally chipping my like artificial fillings again and again because I don't have crowns, and I'm going to need crowns when I'm older, and I'll be able to get them as of then. But right now, the filling for my 2 front teeth, it's kind of rough on the surface, and that bothers me a lot. You know, I never really, like, I've always known that it's there, and it's, like, it bothered me before, but, like, towards the end of the school year, it was bothering me to the point where I couldn't stop thinking about it, and I thought all these things, and it was just, I couldn't stop, and I know it sounds stupid, and I'm just, you know, I'm really problematic, but and I hate that, and I feel like sometimes I don't have control over these thoughts and these annoying nuisances, you know, and sometimes I just have to like stop myself and realize that it's okay, that this is not gonna hold me back from doing what I want to do, and it's not gonna lower from, you know, myself, you know. I have these thoughts where I'm just like, oh, you have all these problems, all these physical problems, you're, you know, you're nothing compared to people, you know, and, I mean, it lowers from my self-esteem, it lowers from my, you know, confidence, when it really shouldn't have to, and I know it's just like, you know, an insecurity of mine, but these annoying problems kind of affect me to the point where I have extreme anxiety and just uncontrollable thoughts where I don't know what to do, you know, and this past year was really hard for me academically. I kind of, I felt so shitty about myself that I felt like I couldn't do anything. I just felt like I wasn't good enough to do anything. I wasn't good enough to get anything done. I wasn't good enough to write this essay. I just felt like I wasn't good enough. I mean, it was just all these things, you know, my grades suddenly, you know, plummeting, my physical issues that aren't even a big deal, and I know that. I'm aware of that, but my mind just kind of makes it a big deal, and that's what's so fucking annoying. And towards the end of the year, I just kind of gave up in a way, you know? You know, it was a struggle to pull myself out of bed and to keep my thoughts in check, and it was a struggle to, you know, get myself to sit down and actually start and get whatever homework I can get done. There's sometimes I feel like I felt like I wasn't in control, and I felt like I just felt like I didn't know what I was doing anymore. And I felt like these problems were holding me back. These thoughts were just telling me that I couldn't do anything, and I couldn't do this, and I couldn't do that. And I didn't know how to get myself out of that hole that I dug myself into unintentionally. But it just kind of happened, and I didn't know how to cope. I did not know how to cope, and I eventually, got a therapist and convinced my mom to let me see one, because that was a whole problem in of itself. But I just want to talk about this concept that where there's no perfect time. If you want to get something done, you can't just be like, oh, I'll be good enough to get it done. I'll get it done when I do this, when I get my head fixed, when I get my mind fixed, when I get my teeth fixed, when I have all these problems and physical problems and just problems in general in control. And that's part of the reason why my grades were so bad at the end of the year. I mean, I got some of them up coming back from the Iraq trip, but just this whole past year kind of just completely broke me down mentally, and it's no one's fault, really. I can't even blame my parents for forcing me to go on the trip. It's just that's how things happened, but it was up to me. I kind of just fell through the cracks of my mind and how it was behaving in a way in which I couldn't function properly, and in a way in which I just couldn't get myself out of this self-deprecating hole that I was in. But I found this article on this app called Medium, which I recommend. It's a really good app to, learn. And it's this article, I cannot talk. It's this article called 5 Truths You Must Accept Before You Can Grow. Let me find the author. How the fuck do you pronounce that? No offense, but oh shit. Can you guys see that? Ayo dead. Okay, I'm not even gonna attempt. I'm sorry. I don't want to butcher that, even though I butchered it already. But one of the 5 truths is you'll never find the perfect time to start. And it goes, there's this quote, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. That's a proverb that was included in there. And it says, I haven't read this yet, by the way. I read like part of the article, and then I saw this, and I'm like, I should probably, talk about it in my video. It says, I remember the first time I told my wife I wanted to start writing. I think it would be really fun to have a blog and start writing, I said. Well, why don't you start writing then? She replied. I knew I wanted to be a writer when I was 17 years old. I didn't start until I was 25. Maybe I was too immature to write anything of value until I'd lived a little. But I still wonder how much further along I could be now if I started earlier. Did I make a declaration to become a writer, buy a typewriter, and lock myself in a room to write for hours? No. I started with one blog post, and I've been writing nearly every day for years since. There's power in starting. You don't have to make a big deal out of starting a new project. Just do it. Seriously, what are you waiting for? Are you waiting for the kids to grow older or move out so you can write Tolstoy had 13 kids when he wrote War and Peace. Are you waiting to have enough money to start your business? If you have a good idea, there are various ways to start businesses at a low cost or find seed money. Oh, it's hard to find seed money? Well, starting a business is hard. Deal with it. All salesmen know the phrase, "now isn't the right time," is a lie. There's always a hidden objection behind the polite ones given, such as lack of money, lack of time, or ideal circumstances. The objection could be that the buyer doesn't trust the seller, they don't believe the product will deliver on its benefits, or they do believe in the product but not in themselves to get the most from it. The way you self-talk is much like the relationship between a salesperson and a customer. You give yourself the polite out, but the truth is there's a deeper objection. What is it? You may not have even consciously thought of it yet. You really might believe in your own polite excuses until you dig deep to find the hidden reasons behind your behavior. You'll never change. I talk about this process at length in my book. We all have deeply embedded beliefs about ourselves and about the world we live in. Business is risky. Intelligence and talent are fixed traits. Finding a secure job will make us happy, and others are luckier than you are. Rich people steal, you're left or right-brained and can't cross over. Being healthy means depriving yourself. You must own a home and have kids. Men are evil, women are evil, the list goes on and on and on. Many of these beliefs you keep from starting. You're not a numbers person, you tell yourself. Richard Branson has dyslexia, and teachers labeled him learning disabled as a child. He's a billionaire. You think you can't succeed because you're ill or have a disability. John Morrow, a man who cannot move anything below his neck, owns a multi-million-dollar blog with a viewership of millions per month. I can find a counterexample to every excuse you have for not starting X. Rather than argue with me about it, why not just start? That was really powerful, and I've learned about this idea. But implementing it and really applying it to your life is the other battle, you know. And I've been trying to, fight my demons and not let these thoughts hold me back, and I'm continuing to fight. And, I thought about just completely not wanting to do anything today because, today was my dentist appointment, and I thought if I could just fix my teeth, if I could just, have one physical problem out of the way, I could be fine. I'll be okay. I can feel alive again. When in reality, I am already alive, and I have the power to do something right now without waiting for that perfect moment, without waiting for that perfect time to start. And this video was a result of that. I'm just like, I have to do something productive. I have to. And if it means just making a video and talking and just putting something out there into the world, then this is kind of the message I wanted to leave you guys with. I know it's nothing, and I know you guys probably have gotten a hang of, that, and being proactive and being, just doing something. But for those of you who are still struggling and continuing to struggle and are kind of on the same journey as I am now, I'm here, and this was my video to you guys, just a message to get that out there. And I just want to wish everyone good luck on their journeys, and I'll hopefully get there in time, sooner than later. And I'm putting in the work, as all of you should. Those who are struggling, those who are, still finding ways to get through this. I'm here, and I'm with you guys, and we're gonna get through this, and I don't want anyone to ever be self-doubtful of themselves to the point where they feel like they just can't get anything done. They just feel like they're not good enough, because I've been there, and I still sometimes feel like I can't, These problems that I talk about, they might not sound like a big deal, and I know they're not. And I hate to invalidate myself and my problems, but sometimes my mind does this, and I acknowledge that, and I continue to help and nurture my mind for the betterment of it and for the betterment of my path as a person and for the betterment of my mental health and my mental state of mind. And I wish everyone good luck with, life, because life is crazy, and sometimes we kind of just have a way of making a big deal out of things, especially just our own problems, when we just have to keep our heads held high and, face things head on. I'll leave you guys with one quote that I learned about, and this other idea of
Stoicism.
Stoicism. Okay. And that means the endurance of pain or hardship without the display of feelings and without complaint. Things that happen to us is the situations that we deal with. We have to learn to not put a label on those situations, and we have to just have that core belief that things are neither good or bad. They just are, and we have to have that willpower to get through them and just face them head on without thinking about how terrible the situation is or how bad everything is, because when we put a label on these situations, we feel like we just can't deal with them. It's impossible, and we just put ourselves down to that level where it's like we give up. But in reality, things are just the way they are, and things happen, and situations, come about. And, we as humans, we do have that tendency to, put a label on our situations and our problems and the things that happen to us. But if we just stop putting a label, and if we just say that this is neither good or bad, and we're just gonna face those problems, to have that belief in ourselves that, what's happening to us is neither good or bad. What problems, what issues, what anything, it's neither good or bad. They just are the way they are, and our beliefs in ourselves and our willpower just has to remain constant throughout everything that we endure, everything that we deal with. And, I have faith in all of you guys, and I have faith in myself. And, yeah. I love you guys. You guys are great people. And, yeah, yeah, I'm done with my Rice Krispie, unfortunately.